Hello. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl again, your favorite girl, Kemi. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for, clicking on this video to watch. Probably what I have to say today interests you. You should also check my other videos, okay? You'll find something interesting also. And to my returning subscribers, I call my returning subscribers my lovelies, my sweethearts. Whenever I read those comments and I see those names that I'm very familiar with, I'm always happy. It gives me so much joy, to know that you guys share so much love and, just the sweet comments, asking about Ayofe, asking about my daughter and all of that. It keeps me motivated to keep coming back every day, okay? So thank you so much, guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. All right, so today we'll be talking about something really it's something that has to do with our kids, right? So if you're someone who is already here with kids, you will agree with me on some of those things I have to say. And if you're someone who plans to immigrate in the nearest future and you're coming with kids, well, this is also some very important information for you to know, okay? Yeah. All right, so please, as usual, don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching right now and you have not subscribed, before you even finish, go and subscribe because you're gonna love it here, okay? Like, comment if you're here too. Yes, comments. Just say comments. Just say hi. First to comments. Whatever. Drop a comment. Turn on post notifications and all of the good stuff. Okay. Yeah. A train is passing now. A train is passing. So I actually have to pause this video to continue later. So I'll be right back. Okay. All right, guys, so welcome back. So like I said, we'll be discussing, and I have my notepad here. I've jotted quite a number of things down, right? And now what I've written down, right, is both ways. There are some that are the goods, the positive, and there are some that are not the positive, okay? The other way around, maybe negative, not entirely negative, but just like some downsides, okay? Some advantages, and I think that's the word. So these are some of those advantages and some of the disadvantages, okay? We want to discuss what the Western culture or what the Western education will do to your African child. I'm saying African because I want to generalize. I also do not want to say African because not all the African culture is the same. For example, our culture in Nigeria is not entirely the same as the culture in Ghana or in Kenya or, other African countries. So that's why I would, even though I'm saying African, I'm also very specific about Nigeria because I was born in Nigeria, I grew up in Nigeria, I was trained in Nigeria, and I have some of those Nigerian cultures in me. So the first thing I want to talk about, which I think is going to be on the good side or the advantage, is that the Western education or the Western culture will boost your child's confidence and creativity. What do I mean by that? Like in schools now, when they go to school, especially if they're starting from kindergarten, they introduce them to discovering themselves, right? Yes, it will boost their creativity, it will help them to discover themselves. It also boosts their confidence. For example, let me give my daughter for example. She's in kindergarten right now. She's in class. They just give her a plain paper, give her a pencil, tell her to draw anything, helps them to explore their imaginations, helps them to explore their creativities. And sometimes she brings something home and she says, I drew this is a house, this is a water, there's a bridge, there's a path. And I'm like, where did that come from, right? And then she said something, in fact, just this morning, right? It also changes their way of thinking, right? They think more in depth, they think more then their vocabulary changes. You just see that difference right there and there, that okay, no, something has changed about this child. And I think it has to do with the fact that they are now interacting with people from other cultures. They are now interacting with people that for example, yes, before I forget, that she said something this morning. Our dad was just asking her that, so what do you think you'll be doing in school today? Because they usually have schedules for different days of the week. They have the days they go to the gym, they have the days they go to the library, they have the days they go to music, they have, so they have this very exhaustive, right? So it brings out, sometimes they say some things and you wonder, where did you learn this from? So that is one thing I have discovered. It's changes their thinking. It helps them to be more vocal. It helps them to be more confident in themselves. It helps them to be more creative, and then you just begin to discover a whole different part of them. I think that's one thing the education we do to them. The next thing I want to talk about is you know, it helps them to also embrace they become more friendly, they embrace culture, they embrace diversity. Now, this is what I say. You know, back home, they are used to their own kin, they are used to their own skin color. It also helps them to see the whole world in a different way, helps them to see that they are actually other skin colors who are also human beings that are not quote unquote greater or more superior to them. You know, at that early stage, especially if you come with very young kids, it exposes them to how bigger the world is, how more diverse the world. Let them know that there's actually another world out there apart from we the dark skin, or we the brown skin. And then it also, then there's a lot more of work from us the parents to also reinforce with them that it doesn't matter the color of your skin, it doesn't matter the color of your hair, it doesn't matter if your hair is short or if your hair is as long as, you are just as perfect, you are just as, unique. No one can be like you, because trust me guys, if you're coming with an African child, you have to reinforce these things in them every day. Also help them to develop this sort of self-confidence in themselves, that they are just as equal as every other person, no matter the color, no matter the skin color, no matter the skin color, no matter because sometimes your child will go to school and come back home, then ask you, I think Ayofe has asked that question, right? And ask you, why is my skin not like this? Why is my hair not long? Why is my hair not this color? Why is, because those whys are going to come, especially if they just arrive and then they go to school. They're going to have a lot of whys to you. So it also sparks that room for conversation, for you to train them, for you to expose them to other things. So I believe that's one thing it will do to you. It opens their curiosity. It opens them to asking more questions. Okay, I hope you're enjoying this video. The third thing I want to talk about is the fact that it improves their independence. Hey guys, this one so you would agree with me, especially if you're coming from Nigeria, as at 4 years, 5 years old, there are still a lot of things we do for our kids. As a matter of fact, one thing I learned before, because my sister-in-law who has been here for 5 years already told us about that, was that as early as 4 years, 5 years, they have to clean up after themselves when they use the washroom, when they use the bathroom. Even if they are pooing or peeing, they still have to clean up after themselves. It gives them, my point is that it makes them independent at an early stage. We have people back in Nigeria that as 10 years old, there are so many things they cannot do. If my daughter was 10 years old in Nigeria, I still will not let her go to school on her own. No, I won't. But here you find kids 6, 7 years old going to school, walking to school on their own. They push them into the world. They give them this level of independence that yes, now it's time for you to go. But we kind of hold on. We are very, what's that word now? We are very possessive when it comes to our children. I get it, right? I get where we're coming from. Also because the world out there is not very safe, and you have to be very security conscious, especially when it comes to leaving your kids. But apart from that, let's even forget about leaving them to go out on their own. There are also so many other things like wiping after themselves, it's feeding themselves. Let's even talk about that one. In school, they leave them to feed on their own. No one is going to feed your 5-year-old, even if they are coming as a kindergarten or whatnot. You understand? They only supervise them to see that, okay, are you done? Eat more. But no one is going to take a spoon and put food in their mouth. But for us, even me at times here, my Ayofe, that is in school, sometimes when I know that I want her to eat faster, or I want to make sure she gets enough nutrients, I feed her myself. We are more particular. I think also because of our culture, of our upbringing, of our what we've been taught, our upbringing. we want to be sure that, oh, have you eaten? Did you hear that? Have you done this? Did you do that? But they just, you know, they are so free with the kids. That's one thing I've seen here. And you know, some one way or the other, it also imparts your child to say, okay, mom, I can do this on my own. You know, at your first sometimes you say, you know, I'm not a baby. And I'm like, yes, I know, but you're my baby. You know, but then if you look at the other kids from other countries, they're actually independent. So here, one thing that this place will teach your kids is that it will teach them independence, right? You even have summer jobs, like teenagers, 12, 13, 14, 15, they take up summer jobs. So these are some of the things. How many kids that are of this age in Nigeria will go and do a summer job, or we say they want to work, or how many of them will their parents allow them to say, okay, go and work? You understand what I mean? But these kids of this age, they're already working. They want to make some extra cash for themselves that they can spend in school. They want to, you know, so it just, there's a whole lot of independence right here, right? And I think it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing that it allows the kids to, you know, just be independent. It also prepares them for a future that is going to be, they don't have to depend on so many things. They don't have to depend on their parents, and then they just gain independence, that independence in time. So for us, it might be a bit difficult for us to let go. It might be a bit difficult for us to say, okay, yes, go and all of these things, but with time we're going to learn it. I'm learning it because yeah, I'm learning it because I'm like, okay, so this one, and when she's what, she's gonna, I'm learning it, but we'll get there. Okay, all right. So the next thing is that this one, I'll say this one is not really an advantage, is that the culture here, or the education here, messes up with their moral and cultural upbringing. Now this is where I'm going with this. You know now, guys, you know, if you're Nigerian or if you're an African, if you wake up in the morning, you kneel down, greet your parents, either your local dialect or all of that. But here, I found that there's not really that culture of saying good morning. Like, I remember we still talked about this in Sunday school yesterday, where the teacher was talking about how he has a colleague of his that will come into the office and then he doesn't even say good morning, not, and the Nigerian in him was like, that's not how we do it now. When you come in, you say good morning, and then he needs something, it just comes to you like nothing happened, like hello. And like, hello, did we greet this morning? Have you seen me? You know, so all of these things with time, it might begin to mess up with their upbringing. Another thing is name calling. Like kids, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, we call you by your first name. Yes, that's it. Like in daycare, kids that are 5-year-old, we call their teachers their first names. Hey, hi Grace, hi Dorothy. And I'm like, hello, excuse me, what happened to Mrs., or what happened to Mr., or what even happened to Auntie? You know now Nigeria will call our teacher by Auntie or Mrs., but this ones, they just put that last first name on you, and I'm like, how did we get here? You know, but that's just the culture here. That's just what happens here. Even here in offices, apart from even the kids, even the older one, offices, you call your boss by name, you can talk to your boss. They teach you this kind of like, everyone, you have the right to speak. We have the boldness, you have the right to speak, which brings me to the next point, that the culture here kind of gives them this give our kids this thing that they have the right to what they do. Like, even my 5-year-old will be telling me, I'm like, okay, let me make this hair for him. He's like, no, it's my hair, I can decide what I want. I'm like, hello, come here, what are you talking about? You and who? Where? From where to where? How old are you? You, but that is what they are learning. They have this, I don't know if they tell them this in schools, but they have this belief, or they have this notion from nowhere, that because some sort of these rights, that they begin to enforce these rights, that why am I not, I have the right over this, it is mine, I can choose what I want to do, I can, you know. I don't know if it's an advantage or a disadvantage, but you as a parent, you understand me when your child or when your kid is coming to you and say, no, mommy, I have a right to choose what I want to wear. I have a right to choose this. I have a right over what I want to. I don't, this right issue is a very different issue that we have to tackle very spiritually and very physically, if you know what I mean, right? So that's about that. So please, at this point, I hope you've liked this video. If you have not, please like, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about that this thing does is that it kind of diminish the competitive spirit in our kids. I've found that the Western education or the Western culture, there is really no competition here. There is no competitive spirit here. Now, when we're in school, you want to be the best, you want to be the first in your class, you want to do this, you want to do that. But here, it's okay to fail. Like, you are doing something and then your kid will tell you, it's okay if I don't get it, it's okay. No, you have to get it. You have to be the first in your class. As a matter of fact, you have to get, we had this competitive spirit where we're like, you want to be the first in your class in a game, you want to be the first in the game and all of that. So I find out that there's no competitive spirit there, which also brings me to, I remember we were having a conversation at work one day, and I was talking to a lady, and then we were just discussing how you always want to go to attain something higher. Right now you get a job and you're working as an assistant. The next thing you're looking for is how to be the manager, or next the director, and all of that. You keep going higher and higher till you get the very best, right? And then guess what this lady tells me? She tells me that I'm comfortable with where I am. I'm comfortable with this. I don't really, as long as it pays the bills, as long as, and I'm like, hello, no, that's not me, right? So that's actually the spirit. That's what goes on. Not everyone, people are comfortable working in a place for 10-15 years, like you said, as long as it pays the bills, as long as it's, they're getting some money and all of that. So it kind of also trickles down to the kids. You find the kids also wanting to say, okay, because that's actually what the teachers tell them, that it's okay if you do not do it right this time. It's okay if you do not, everything is okay, it's okay. Are you okay? If they fall down, are you okay? This is okay. And then, there's just a whole lot of it. There's a whole lot of things I've seen here that kind of, changes the narrative of what we're used to. For example, another thing is, also speaking of that, I remember Ayanfe, as at 4 years old, she was writing 1 to 100, if not 200, right? Now getting here, she's in kindergarten now, she's 5, and then they only write 1 to 20. If you're not careful, those kids are gonna forget all that they've learned. It's almost like she's being taken back, a step back or 2 steps back to what she's known to, which kind of messes up with them. It messes up. So it's the best thing is, you have a kid here who's going to start school afresh. But when you have a kid that started school back in your home country, and now they're starting here, and then it takes them, they are 2 steps back or 3 steps backward when it comes to, because we are always we're worried that my child who is 3 years old or who is 4 years old is not here reading a dictionary. Meanwhile here, the kids don't even start school until 5 years. So also, it kind of also affected our daughter, because she was already in school, she was already doing so much, and then getting here, and then she goes to school. When it comes back from, so what did you do today? I painted. I call her, like, Jesus, what? How is that what you did in school? So that is one thing we've also observed that you done. Another thing is that I think I've actually covered all. I have actually. Okay, so that is it, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think about all these things I've spoken about, right? These are just my observations of one of those things that the education or the school, should I say is it the education now? Yes, I will say the education, because most of these influences is basically from the school. So the onus is on the parents actually to do a whole lot. Like, you have extra job to do, you have a whole lot of work to do. Another thing, I think this is like an extra that I've observed here, is that when you observe kids from other countries, when you observe the Chinese, the Japanese, the Indians, you observe that as early as 2-3 years old, they are speaking their languages. Like, there's never a time that I've gone to the school that I find maybe a Russian or Ukrainian or all those other countries, they're actually speaking their language to their children, which is one thing I found that we Nigerians miss out on. Is this English that we'll be speaking? English, as if we're in England, or we are what? So we need to, like, has to be like an extra effort from us, the parents, to make sure that they do not, this our own upgrading, that our own culture also continues, right? That it doesn't go extinct on us. That is, we have to pass it on to our kids. I think I'm already doing motivational speaking now. All right, guys, let me just end this video right here. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know in the comment section what you think. Let me know your opinion also, because I'm also learning. I'm taking it as it comes, because here is actually a bit different from what we are known to, especially when it comes to raising kids, because there's a whole lot of different cultural beliefs, different things that are acceptable, laws about spanking and all of that. I'm going to talk about that in another video, okay? But for this one, let's make it a wrap, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Until I see you again in the next video, I say bye for now.